you get into the phase where you hate everything. There were hard days where I was tired, emotional.
She's realizing that there's good and bad.
Hey everybody, welcome to our video today. We wanted to sit down. It's been 2 months of living in the Philippines, and we wanted to talk about how we're adjusting and how this whole transition has been. And it's really important to me that I start to open up more and maybe share more of what I'm feeling underneath the surface. I feel like our videos the last 2 months have just been a lot of positivity, because it is important to us that we are positive. But there are a lot of people that follow us that are actually considering moving to the Philippines as well, or doing a big change, maybe even traveling with their kids, things like that. And I want them to know, I want you to know the real stuff too. And even though it's been really hard for me, it is possible still. And so I want to maybe touch on some of that in today's video. And we have a whole list of things we want to cover.
It's been an amazing 2 months overall. There might have been things that we would like to change, or we would have liked to know beforehand and stuff. Hopefully this video would help us understand why we did what we did, and help you guys, especially those people that are planning to follow, our example or something.
The first thing we want to talk about is culture shock. One of you, and you've got to tell me down below, one of you said to me once that culture shock is like this. At first, you love everything. You're excited to be there. Everything is just so great to you. And then you get into the phase where you hate everything and you just want to go home, and there's nothing good you can find. And then eventually you get to the point where there's good and bad, and you can take what you love, leave what you don't. And that's where you can really find that balance. So whoever told me that, you have been helping me so much. Tell me who you are in the comments below. I've been using that to describe what I'm going through and what I'm feeling, and it's totally true for me. The first month, I was just so excited to be here. Everything was beautiful. Everything was awesome. I thought it was so great. I don't even know how to portray how much I just loved it. I was glad we came. There were hard days where I was tired, emotional, but I wasn't homesick yet. Month 2, I got homesick. I hated everything. No offense to anybody, but I just was like, I hate this, I hate that. Everything is horrible here. I want to go home. The US is way better.
To the point that she can't function, and she wakes up, why am I here?
And just crying all day. I had a lot of days where I just stayed in bed. And so I was just very emotional and processing everything. And I still have days like that.
And I'm very grateful with our friends here and our friends that we left at home, and a lot of the new friends that we have everywhere that helps her, because I can explain to her, or I can tell her something that I want to say and share my feelings about things. But at the end of the day, you guys, those friends, are the ones that really help her with that culture shock.
And so I think culture shock is so much deeper than I ever thought it was. I thought it was maybe not being able to understand the language and feeling overwhelmed, or seeing how they do things differently and being shocked by it. But I think it's so much deeper than that, and it takes a lot of processing to overcome it.
Yeah, when we first got here, one of the things that people warned us about, you'll have to adjust to the temperature, you have to adjust to the food, you have to adjust to all these things. Those things really did not bother us much. That wasn't the culture shock that Lora experienced. It's the other part of it.
Being here is making me question all of my opinions and thoughts that I've had my entire life. That's how deep it is for me. Seeing how an entire culture and people live across the world, and I didn't know about it. Oh, there's just too much that I can't even get into. So I'm holding myself back, because I want this to be a positive, happy place. This is our half Asian adventure. We're going on adventures and sharing that with you. And maybe one day I will write on my blog or make videos on my own channel to talk about my experience.
But right now though, she's understanding that a lot more. And like I said, a lot of our friends actually help her understand that more. And she's getting to the point where she's realizing that there's good and bad on all of these things. Part of that culture shock as well is missing home.
Yeah, so I've been really homesick.
Yeah.
But not the kind of homesick where I want to go home.
Women.
That sounds so weird. I miss home. I dream about it. I wake up, thinking of Utah and wishing I had a farm in the US. But not enough to go make that happen, because I know we're supposed to be here, and I'm comfortable with that even though it's hard here, I can make a really great life here. And we have so many amazing friends. That's where it's at, making the connections with people. That's what really lifts me. So we're talking about me a lot, but what has your adjustment been coming back?
Yeah, I think the culture shock. See, I left the Philippines when I was 17. I understand a lot of things already then. Half of my life is literally here and the other half is in the US. Like literally half. 17 years here and 17 years in the US. People that it's like looks familiar, that's not. Kids that I knew back then are like adults right now and things like that. And so those are the shocks that it felt so good to see all of them. It's good to like meet all of them, but the biggest thing is like I feel like I'm relearning a lot of it again. It feels embarrassing.
So I hope this video doesn't get too long, but there's a few more things we want to talk about. So before we came here, we actually had a lot of ideas in our mind of how it would be, but we've had a lot of things change. A lot of plans we had made that just didn't work because it's hard to know what it's really going to be like here. And that goes along with like not knowing what to bring here. We brought several boxes of things, and I think they were all useful things, but we keep saying, why didn't we bring this from the US? That would have been so easy to get there. Yeah, and I wish we brought this. And so one of the biggest changes that we had to make was we decided to buy a car. And that was a hard decision because we didn't plan to. When we came, like that's a big expense, and not knowing our future here, we didn't know if we should buy it. But after living here, after understanding what our lifestyle is going to be and the expectations on us for church, for work, and the responsibilities we have, we decided to buy a car. We're having a lot of experiences like that.
Even the financial thing, we said in the first week, we're not gonna spend a lot of things, but furnishing the house alone was like a big change of plan. Because we were hoping that finding a place to rent would be like in the US where you don't need to buy like fridge or you don't need to get all these other things.
Appliances.
Yeah, when we found this house, which is amazing, but it doesn't have an AC, it doesn't have a fridge, it doesn't have a stove.
So that was really unexpected, but then it just became, this is what we're doing, and we'll work it out, we'll figure it out. Yeah. So we have spent more money than we planned, but it'll be okay. And if you guys are interested in a cost of living video, or if we could talk about like getting our house and furnishing it, maybe we could talk about that. If you're interested, let us know.
Let us know down below. Comment.
Anyway, so one more thought. If I can remember for myself, my main takeaway from 2 months here living in the Philippines. What have I learned the most? I love my husband more than I ever have in my entire life. Well, I feel like I'm so much more understanding of him than I ever have been. And I feel so guilty that I was hard on him about how he spoke or how he lived and the weird things he did. And then I come here and I realize, that's why. That's why that's important to you, or that's why you do that, or that's why you talk like that. And those things aren't bad anymore. Now that I look back, I'm like, those things that bothered me, is this too serious?
No, it's fine.
I don't know if I should
This
say
is a serious video.
It's so serious. I'm just trying to be more real. I could burst into tears at any minute because I'm just raw, emotional. That's who I am now. But what I want to say, I hope I say this right, but I understand you more. And it's like it's brought us closer together. Don't look at me, I'm going to cry. I understand John more now, and I love him a lot more, and I didn't think it was possible to love him more.
Sana all. Pwede ba ilayo mo sa akin to?
Back in the US, Laura would correct me with my English, for example, and she was like, this is what you would say. And it's funny because like I don't want to like change my English, like because I use that at work. If I don't understand something or if I mess up, I always say, I'm sorry, I don't speak English. It works! Obviously, I speak good enough English to function in the US and stuff. And for those haters and stuff. Yes, I don't speak English. We bought a it's nostalgic. Buy good protective reminiscent. Oh no, what's the word? It's a new thing.
I'm just appreciating so much how great his English is and how well he can understand me. And it's just like, I'm amazed by you. Like, your English and more than that, the connection that we have. You've had to experience both cultures and adjust so much. I'm just amazed by you.
Not this time.
So more than anything, I feel like we have grown closer together through this experience, and I'm so grateful that we're here. What are the future plans, you might ask?
You guys have to just wait 1 more month.
John and I are not allowed to talk about it until our 3-month mark.
It's actually hilarious because there will be like random times where we're like, oh, how about? It's like, nope, we're not gonna talk about that. We still have 1 more month to do this, and then we'll see if we actually want to go back, if we can go back.
Because what we told you guys is we're gonna reevaluate every 3 months, and so I didn't want to make any decisions based on my emotions. If I did, we would have already went home.
Yep.
But I know that that's not wise, and it's not the right thing to do. So at 3 months, we're going to talk about what our future plans are for the next 3 months, talk about all our feelings about everything, and then we're going to try and make a decision for the next 3 months or 6 months or whatever. We're not even going to talk about it.
We're not allowed to talk about it.
So that's why it's been hard to make decisions about the van, the car that we bought. Is it a van or a car? I still don't know.
It's in between.
Okay.
It's a bar.
So on one hand, there's decisions we're making that are making it more permanent here, and it's scary and it's up in the air, but we're just always gonna pray about it and follow the guidance we receive and make decisions together.
And before you guys start commenting and stuff, she's not pregnant, okay?
Why are you saying
That's not it. That you know, like it just feels like I just feel like somebody would comment like she's pregnant for sure.
Is it about my emotions or my...
Well, that and your, you know, you said like the permanent decisions and things like that.
Oh, yeah, we're not talking about any of that.
Yep. Nope. She's
next
not.
month.
She's not pregnant, guys. See, my
Probably.
hands are not full, you know, like crossed. You're not pregnant.
I'm probably not. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being a part of all of this. Watch out, because I'm going to start to be more emotional and open about everything. And we're going to have a good time here on our YouTube channel. So please subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Look forward to really awesome videos coming soon. So many more adventures. We will see you next time. Bye.